In this video for Positive Maths, we're going to learn about scientific notation. So, we can either call it scientific notation or standard form. We must be familiar with both terms. So, it is a number in the form a multiplied by 10 to the power of n. So, where 1 is less than or equal to a is less than 10, and n is an integer. Okay, so we're saying a has to be between 1 and 10, but cannot be equal to 10. And multiplied by 10 to the power of n, and we're saying n is an integer, so it's a positive or negative whole number. So it cannot be a fraction or a decimal. So an example, we have 4,500,000 written in scientific notation. So the 4.5 is our a, multiplied by 10 to the power of 6, and we notice that 6 is an integer. So how do we write these numbers? We use this method of writing numbers when numbers are either very large or very small. So an example, let's multiply 40,000,000,000,000 by 30 million. Okay, so we can see, even if we tried to do this on a calculator, all of these numbers wouldn't be able to fit on the small screen. So we need a shorter way of writing these numbers that are huge. Okay, so what we do is, we create a new number. Okay, we need to find a. Again, we know that a has to be in between 1 and 10. Okay, so what we're really doing is we're starting at the end of the number with the decimal place, and we're moving it back in order to form a number that is in between 1 and 10. In this example, that would be 1.2. It can't be 0.12 because that is less than 1, and it can't be 12.0 because that's greater than 10, so that's why we know it has to be 1.2. Okay, so that's our first part. Then we multiply it by 10 to the power of 18. So we have to think, where did we get the 18 from? So if we go back here to where we started with the decimal point, and we count the number of spaces we move it, we will get 18 if we continue on. Okay, so from here, where we started with our decimal, all the way to moving the decimal between the 1 and the 2, we have moved it 18 places. Or really what we can say is, we need to multiply 1.2 by 10 to the power of 18 to go back to having this number. Okay, so we'll need to do a few examples to get used to this concept. And there are 2 steps we need to follow. So, first of all, the number part. We need to rewrite the number so that it is between 1 and 10. Just a little star here to remind us it can't be 10. Step 2, the power part. So the number part and the power part. We need to decide the power of 10. So they're the 2 steps we're going to follow. Okay, so let's do an example. We have 45 million here. We want to rewrite it in scientific notation. So step 1 is find our a. So again, we have to have a multiplied by 10 to the power of n. Step 1 is going to be find a. And then step 2, we could say, is going to be finding n. Okay, so 4500000. So the first thing we're doing is finding our a. So we're going to move the decimal point from here in between the 4 and the 5. So now we have 4 5.5 is our A. Okay, next part is finding n. So it's going to be the number we started with. We have 4.5 by 10 to the power of n. So now we need to find our n. Okay, so we need to count the number of spaces we've moved the decimal point. So we're starting at the end again. We're moving it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces in between the 4 and the 5. So that means our number will be 4.5 by 10 to the power of 7. Okay, so 2 steps. Find the A part and find the n part. Let's practice a few more examples. So, we have 6, 7, 8, 0, 0, 0, 0. So this is equal to, I need 6.78 multiplied by 10, and I'm going to count the number of spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 to the power of 6. Our second example, 5, 6, and then we have 7 zeros. So again, I need to find a number between 1 and 10. It's going to be 5.6 multiplied by 10, and I count my spaces. 10 to the power of n. 10 to the power of 8. Next example. 30,000. So it's just going to be 3 multiplied by 10 to the power of 4. Okay, so we really have to understand here what we're doing. What we're saying is that if we started off with scientific notation, let's just say we have 2 by 10 to the power of 5. What it really is 2 multiplied by 100,000. So we get 200,000. Okay, so we should be able to very easily change numbers from the larger version, so from the big numbers to scientific notation, but also expand the scientific notation into the bigger number as well. For more information, you can visit www.PositiveMaths.ie. You can email us at info@PositiveMaths.ie and find us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching.